Hello everyone, my name's Anne. I'm Service Manager for Ypeople. I'm here with two of the youth counsellors, Cameron and Kevin. Ypeople provide support accommodation for people aged 16 and over who are experiencing homelessness or are at risk of becoming homeless. We also provide a youth counselling service called Y-Talk. This is for anyone from primary school age up to the age of 25. We do provide counselling within Orkney College for people of all ages. The Y-Talk and Y-Change service are commissioned by Orkney Drugs and Alcohol Partnership.
Hello everyone, my name is Cameron McConaughey. I'm one of the youth counsellors for the Y-Talk service within Ypeople. I've worked in the counselling services since I graduated last summer with a degree in substance abuse counselling. Although my degree was in substance misuse, I also have a keen interest in mental health in general and helping individuals with their mental health concerns. I completed my degree away from Orkney, but as of last summer, I've brought it back to Orkney. I'm looking forward to working with people within Orkney across all sorts of mental health concerns. And this is Kevin over here.
Hi there. Hi, I'm Kevin Denver. My work in counselling started about 2010 when I began my diploma course in relationship counselling in Edinburgh. Although my interest in therapeutic relationships started way back in the early 2000s when I was previously a PE teacher and business owner, and I became interested in what made people say and behave the way they did, and how thoughts and feelings influence work and sports performance. I'd always felt that being strong and tough were desirable characteristics, and I've actually used counselling personally to help make sense of my own stuff. Everyone has stuff or a thing that troubles them or bothers them, or that keeps happening in their lives that they'd rather didn't. So we call that patterns in counselling. And to understand a bit more about myself and the experiences that I've had. It's been really helpful in feeling more positive about myself and about my life. I found out you can only change and influence things that happen in your life in proportion to how much you understand it. So therapy is sometimes thought of out there in communities as for people who are somehow broken or weak. But actually it takes a lot of courage to go to counselling, and courage is something that takes discomfort, but that's what we're looking to do in therapy, help people out of discomfort and help them to have more meaningful and more connected lives. So counselling helps you to explore that and to make sense of it.
Cameron, can you tell us a bit about the Y-Talk service?
Yep, the Y-Talk service itself is a confidential service which provides counselling either through the online platforms that we've had to work through with the coronavirus outbreak for the last couple of months, or we've now actually gone back to doing face-to-face counselling as well, which we have started doing at the Hooga Clinic, and we can also do it at the college and GP practices once they open up and allow room bookings as well. Obviously we've got to follow coronavirus guidelines from the government, which involves wearing masks, sanitising everything, and just making sure we're staying on top of everything and following protocols. For any young person in Orkney that feels that they would like the support, the team is myself, Kevin, and we also have Noreen, another counsellor who isn't here today. All three of us work with varying clients who hold different difficulties that they would like support with. Some of the general kind of difficulties we have maybe worked through stems from anxiety and stress relating to all areas of life. It can be anything involved with at school or exam stress, or even something that's happening at home or something in the social environment as well. And we also work with clients who maybe have domestic violence in their lives, relationship breakdowns, anger problems, and maybe some element of sexual, physical or emotional abuse as well. So it kind of varies across the board. We can support individuals with all areas as well. It doesn't have to necessarily be one problem. It could be various issues as well that lead up to it as well.
Yeah. And if I could just add in that sometimes people can deal with those things within their own networks and within their own friends and still move on and cope. I think where Ypeople can offer a uniqueness is where those things start to become really troublesome in your life and they start to cause you to feel down or are intrusive in your life. That's usually a sign that therapy might be able to help you.
Yeah, and I think also adding on to that as well, the kind of confidential nature of it as well. We're an outside agency, you know, it's it's in a room away from maybe school or college or something like that, away from the kind of social circle. It's somebody who you don't necessarily know, gives you that opportunity just to kind of speak to someone who doesn't know into your lifestyle. You know, you can get that outside look into your life a little bit as well, which can sometimes prove really, really desirable and good outcomes with the clients as well.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, Cameron. And confidentiality is absolutely built into counselling, because we are an outside agency. That we're not tied to anyone else. Basically, what you tell us is confidential. Obviously, with the exception if you were speaking about something that suggested that somebody was at risk of harm or yourself. But trust is paramount, and people need to feel safe to come. So I think that's where Why Talk offer a really important service to young people here.
You've mentioned about referral. Can you tell me how we can make referrals to the service?
Yeah, I can say a little bit about that. In terms of getting in touch with us, you can speak to us through email. We have our email address, which we'll go into later, and we also have an Orkney Ypeople Facebook page that you can send a direct message into it, and we can get somebody will reply to that quite promptly as well. You can either make the referral yourself through the referral forms that we provide, or you might be able to pick them up elsewhere. They're available through the GPs, through the college, through the school system as well. And you're also, it doesn't have to be yourself that makes the referral. It can be a parent or a carer as well can do it on your behalf, or your doctor can do it on behalf as well if you ask them to as well.
Brilliant.
Thank you. Ypeople Why Talk service is commissioned by Orkney Drugs and Alcohol Partnership. Is drugs and alcohol criteria for referral to the service?
Would you like to go first, Kevin?
I mean, I can do. I would say it's certainly not. I mean, the referral to our services for anything that young people find is making their lives uncomfortable, that things that they're struggling with. As Cameron already said, it could be anxiety, depression, but things like bullying that can be really pervasive, and having a chance to explore with somebody that you can trust how that makes you feel. But obviously, equally, drugs and alcohol can feature when things start to become a pressure and we get stressed, because they help us cope. And you know, if we're not careful, they can become things that can present other issues in our lives to do with health and financial, and so drugs and alcohol can often feature, and it's probably cheaper and easier to maybe look at how you might explore that in a safe environment like a counselling room.
100%. I'd just like to reiterate on what Kevin said there. Obviously, we can help out with the drug intake as well as such, but we get various issues that come through our door. You know, it doesn't have to stem from alcohol or drug intake, but it can be part of it. We can support that as well. But it's nice to know that there is other issues that we can support with as well. So it can be an issue for some individuals as a coping strategy, like Kevin said, but we can also help out in all sorts of other issues as well, especially sometimes. It could lead from childhood trauma or something like that, and that's something we can work through with the individual as well, if that's another significant issue that might be going on in their life.
Yeah.
As well as this, we have a new service called Y Change, which supports individuals who are struggling with drug or alcohol misuse. This service provides a positive change programme for anyone aged 16 and over. To contact the Y Change service, you can email orkney@ypeople.org.uk. Kevin and Cameron, are you able to tell us a bit about what kind of coping strategies people find helpful, and you know, is there different coping mechanisms that work for different people?
Yeah, of course. Finding the right coping strategy for each person is hugely important in helping them with their difficulties that are going on in their life. We understand in the Why Talk service that not one size fits all in terms of supporting individuals. So one coping strategy might work for someone, but it might not work for the other person. So it's all about finding various tools, various coping strategies out there to try and help you through that issue that might be going on in your life. It can vary across from maybe focusing on certain hobbies and interests that you may have and seeing the positive outlook on them, or it could be implementing a positive outlook into your physical exercise as such, maybe focusing on being more active, more physical, and then that can have a positive impact on your mental well-being as well. I also like to promote certain breathing exercises, focusing on your breathing when you feel that stress and kind of anxiety building up inside you. It can sometimes give you the chance to kind of exhale it from your body as well. And in terms of breathing exercise as well, you've got meditation on top of that. That is great as well for kind of relaxing your body and making you feel a little bit less tensed up and stressed. And then that works as well with yoga as well. Loads of yoga exercises out there on the online platforms as well, especially right now. You can find endless videos online through YouTube, through anything to support you through that as well. And it can be a great way to relax your body at the end of the day or start of the day and make you ready for the day ahead as well. And also it's important to kind of speak to others as well within your support network as well. You know, they might be able to help you with certain things that are going on in your life. They might be able to take some stress off you, what's building up with you, or maybe give you the chance to speak out whatever may be going on in your life. But as we mentioned before, it's a great way to kind of find out ways that suit you as well.
I would echo a lot of what Cameron was saying. Obviously, the two kind of strands there. There's the lifestyle approach, where you try and build, you know, positive practices into your daily life, like more exercise, meditation, mindfulness. But there's also in the moment where you start to feel a bit overwhelmed. There are things that you can do in the moment that are really helpful. Things like having positive states that you can create. You can practice this when you're not stressed. You know, think of a positive memory that you've had, a nice place you've been that made you feel nice. And if you find yourself getting caught up in that ruminating thought cycles, you can actually force yourself into thinking about that positive thing, and it can reduce the intensity of the anxiety and worry you have. I love breathing exercises too. They're very grounding. They help us to come back into our bodies. And when you're in your body, you can actually start to notice what I would call early warning signs, things that you start to feel before you start to get really anxious and stressed, like your chest tightening up, or your breathing getting shallow, or your palms getting sweaty. Being able to notice those things early and then implement some of the strategies that we've been talking about, they're really helpful too. But there are things you can do. The key thing for me is it's normal to be stressed, it's normal to be worried, and it's normal to get anxious. So it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It's just when it starts to become a bit overwhelming that we need to look at how we can help you to get back grounded again. Yeah, so in a sense, we can take referrals from anybody. So if you didn't feel comfortable about referring yourself, then you could ask somebody on your behalf, and we would take it seriously, and then obviously check out that you're happy to, you know, to initiate and come and be inducted.
Hopefully, once we come out of this kind of outbreak right now, things will loosen up and we'll be able to support you the way you want to be supported as well.